The movie opens in Gotham City, a place that looks like it lost a long, ugly fight with rain and neon, and we meet a city suffocating under its own grime and corruption. Early on, we're told Batman has been working in the shadows for about 2 years, and instead of the usual cape and hero montage, director Matt Reeves gives us a darker, more detective-focused Batman, someone whose fists and instincts are as important as his gadgets. Bruce Wayne is still raw and relentless, a man driven less by symbol and more by personal vendetta, and that sets the tone for the entire movie. We meet Bruce both as Batman and as Bruce, though the film leans heavy on the mask. He's obsessive, interrogating snitches and criminals at night, stumbling into a pattern of ritualistic killings staged by a new kind of villain, the Riddler. This Riddler isn't the campy, crossword-obsessed villain from the cartoons. He's a vicious, methodical terrorist who live streams his murders and leaves cryptic clues meant to expose corrupt systems. When the mayor of Gotham, Don Mitchell Jr., is murdered in a public, televised way, the city erupts. The Riddler taunts Gotham by targeting the elite and pointing a finger at the rot beneath the surface. Batman's world collides with the Riddler's when the sleuthing yields breadcrumbs that all seem to lead back to the same well of blame, the powerful families and institutions that shaped Gotham. That includes the big looming name, the Waynes. Bruce is forced to confront family secrets he's been avoiding. Thomas Wayne, his father, wasn't the saintly philanthropist Batman grew up worshiping. He had dirtier ties to Gotham's underworld and its political machinery. That realization shakes Bruce more than any punch to the jaw, because now his crusade against Gotham isn't just civic, it's personal. While Batman pursues clues, James Gordon, this version a gritty, world-weary cop who still believes in some sliver of the badge, becomes his uneasy ally. Gordon here isn't a one-note pillar of goodness. He's a pragmatic, sometimes morally complicated cop trying to navigate a department that's as crooked as the city. Their rapport is one of the movie's strengths. They don't always agree, but both want to make Gotham safer, albeit for different reasons. Enter Selina Kyle. She's a cat burglar with sharp instincts, a complicated moral code, and a tragic backstory. Selina's got a very real beef with Wayne Enterprises. Her friend was killed in the Narrows when a bridge collapsed, and there was negligence from the construction side, negligence that points back to the big players Bruce once trusted. She's not convinced by Bruce Wayne's charm, and rightly so. Selina is cornered, street smart, and makes clear to Bruce that she can't trust rich men who give speeches about charity while people drown in the downtrodden parts of town. She's a mirror to Bruce. Both are trying to survive in a world that chews them up, but where Bruce affects moral righteousness through a mask, Selina survives through cunning and self-preservation. As Batman and Gordon dig deeper, they discover that the Riddler's clues are less about toys and trickery and more about exposing a web of criminal collusion. Files, ledgers, and ransom tapes point to Carmine Falcone, the old-school mob boss whose family name carries weight and terror. Falcone's presence in the film is subtle at first, but monstrously important. He represents old Gotham corruption that never really went away, it just learned to dress itself in a suit. A standout subplot is the introduction of Oswald Cobblepot, still crawling through life, literally and figuratively. Colin Farrell's Penguin is a low-level, slithering enforcer with big ambitions. He's greasy, dangerous, and cunning in a way that makes you want to avoid making him mad. His arc is one of those slow-burn, rise-to-power stories. We see him taking small risks and forming alliances that will later blossom into something far more threatening. He's not the Penguin you might remember from other films. He's more animal than caricature, and that makes him oddly believable. The Riddler's game intensifies. He's not just targeting people, he's trying to shake Gotham to the core. He posts a manifesto that accuses the city's leadership of shielding criminals and weaponizing poverty. Through violent spectacles, murders staged like grotesque political theater, he forces the public to watch. One of the film's strengths is how it treats the Riddler as a twisted kind of whistleblower. His logic is warped, his methods monstrous, but he harnesses an anger that already lives in the city. That's scary because you can see why some people might listen. That complexity keeps the film from being a simple good versus evil story. There's a messy gray in which the hero and the villain sometimes point toward the same truth. There are some classic noir investigation beats. Batman combs through crime scenes, deciphers symbols, breaks into places he's not supposed to, and pieces together a trail that reveals how deeply corruption is embedded.
Bruce Wayne's daytime persona is tested when Selina unexpectedly confronts him. She recognizes him, and a tense, messy relationship blooms between them. This cat and mouse evolves into something complicated, mutual attraction mixed with ideological differences. She's not there to be saved, nor is Bruce there to save her, but they both end up saving each other from different kinds of loneliness. Meanwhile, the Riddler's clues point to something bigger: structural failures in Gotham that have been ignored for decades, including how the Narrows flooded and how powerful people covered up the consequences. It becomes clear the Riddler isn't merely killing for bloodlust, he's trying to expose a system that sanctions death. Around this axis, allegiances shift. Falcone's empire begins to crumble as secrets come to light, and the movie uses those moments to explore how fragile institutions can be when the people in power are self-serving. The plot thickens when the Riddler targets Wayne Tower. There's a chilling sequence where a public figure is exposed and humiliated, and Bruce sees firsthand how his family's name is a weapon in the hands of the corrupt. It's not enough to punch criminals anymore. Bruce realizes he needs to dismantle a system that legitimizes men like Falcone. That revelation complicates his mission, and the movie shows his internal struggle with a surprising degree of nuance. He's less an unshakable icon and more a man learning to see his city without the rose-colored lenses of legacy. Tension ramps toward the last act as the Riddler's plan escalates into something catastrophic. He rigs the city's infrastructure so that the Narrows, already a neglected, flood-prone neighborhood, becomes a death trap. His intention is to drown large portions of Gotham to flush out the corruption and to show the world what the elite will tolerate. It's a dark, almost apocalyptic image, the city literally drowning under their leader's sins, and the movie uses that threat to push Bruce to his limits. This isn't just about fighting one man, it's about saving tens of thousands of lives. There are some great set pieces along the way. Batman's detective work leads to tense infiltrations and a few thrilling chase scenes. One memorable moment is a rooftop pursuit through storm and neon that's stylish without feeling gratuitous. The vehicle scenes and hand-to-hand fights are visceral and grounded, leaning less on flashy tech and more on actual grit and improvisation. At one point, Batman breaks into a facility to free hostages, and the scene is almost like a heist, carefully planned, messy in execution, and showing Bruce's vulnerability when plans go sideways. And yes, there's a scene or two where Batman nearly gets roasted by being too righteous for his own good. Classic hero learning curve stuff. Selina's own arc reaches a turning point when she confronts the men responsible for the death of her friend. She gets revenge in a way that's morally ambiguous, and then she has to decide whether to run from consequences or stick around and face what's become of Gotham. Her chemistry with Bruce is electric, precisely because it's not polished. They spar verbally and strategically, and there's a mutual understanding that neither of them fits neatly into the city's boxes. Gordon's moral compass gets tested too. He wants to believe the system can be fixed from within, but every revelation nudges him closer to the idea that perhaps change requires upending the system itself. That tension plays out in his relationship with his colleagues, who range from helpful to corrupt. The film doesn't shy away from showing the slow breakdown of institutions when individuals prioritize self-preservation over the public good. The Penguin subplot grows more dangerous as Oswald seizes opportunities to climb the criminal ladder. His brutality is shown in small, unworrying ways. He's not flashy, but he's a force that looks like it'll only get worse. The idea of someone who's essentially been kicked around by everyone finally gaining traction is both tragic and terrifying. It hints at a future Gotham where monsters rise, not because they're born that way, because the city ground them down. As the final pieces assemble, Batman discovers a hidden room of clues at a key location and finally understands a big part of the Riddler's motivation, a history of institutional betrayal that stretches back decades and intersects with Wayne family history. The film pays off this detective work by giving Batman a more humane goal than revenge. He wants to stop people from suffering the way he did. That shift makes the ending feel earned. His crusade moves from vengeance into something closer to leadership, which is an interesting evolution for his character. In the climactic flood sequence, things are chaotic, messy, and surprisingly intimate. Batman and Selina are forced to rescue trapped citizens as the water rises, giving the action a real emotional weight. The Riddler's plan is thwarted, but not without consequences. The city is damaged, and the underlying problems aren't magically solved just because one man was captured. The Riddler's final moments are disturbing and defiant. Even when contained, his ideas linger, leaving the viewer with an uncomfortable sense that Gotham's rot is deeper than any one villain. The film closes in a quieter, more reflective tone. Bruce chooses to redefine himself. He doesn't walk away from the symbol of the bat. Instead, he begins to shape it into something that can inspire others to do better. Selina makes her own choices. She leaves in the end, not because she's giving up, but because survival requires her to step back and think about what kind of life she wants. Gordon is left to pick up the pieces in the police department, trying to figure out how to do right in a system that's rarely clean. Oswald, meanwhile, slinks back into the underbelly with plans that will come to haunt Gotham later. Throughout the film, it's equal parts mood piece and procedural. It's heavy on atmosphere, rain, slicked streets, and neon, and a menacing score that feels like the city's heartbeat. And it's also a crime thriller that asks uncomfortable questions about accountability, legacy, and who gets to be called a hero. Robert Pattinson's Batman is more haunted and hands-on than many heroes we've seen recently. He's not polished, but he's compelling.